Audio recording for this meeting has begun.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shannon Bislink, and on behalf of Carahsoft Technology Corporation, I would like to welcome you to our Salesforce and Acumen Solutions webcast, Leveraging Salesforce for DoD Correspondence Management. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items. The audio portion of this webcast can be heard through your computer speakers, or if you prefer, you can use the dial-in displayed on the screen to listen through your telephone. All lines have been muted to reduce any background noise. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the chat pod on the left side of your screen, and we will do our best to answer all of your questions at the end of the presentation. If for some reason we do not get to your question, our team will certainly follow up with you offline. Just to tell you a little bit about Carahsoft, we are a trusted government IT solutions provider delivering software and support solutions to federal, state, local, and education customers. Carahsoft maintains dedicated teams to support sales and marketing for all of its vendors, including Salesforce, VMware, and Symantec. Our contact information will be at the end of the presentation, so please do not hesitate to call or email us for any of your needs. This webcast is being recorded, and a copy of the presentation will be emailed to you. At this time, I would like to introduce our speakers for today, Marty Young, Managing Director at Acumen Solutions, and Christina Miller, Senior Manager at Acumen Solutions. Marty, Christina, the floor is all yours.
Hey, thanks everybody for taking the time to spend with us on this beautiful afternoon. We're coming at you from Washington, D.C. area, and with me is Christina Miller, who's a director with Acumen Solutions. She's also the product manager for the Correspondence Management solution that we're going to show you guys today. So we wanted to do a quick introduction about both Salesforce and Acumen Solutions so you guys have a quick foundation on the companies that you're seeing and speaking with. I assume just about everyone in the room has heard of and has some basic information about Salesforce. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time there, but wanted to at least set the stage. For those that don't know, Salesforce.com is a enterprise cloud computing platform, which means there's no hardware or software involved. You know, it's a software as a service, platform as a service solution where you just point your browser to the product and you're off and running with enterprise applications. Salesforce services both the public sector and the commercial sector. And Salesforce is very well known within the industry as being an innovation leader. In fact, they've been voted as Forbes' most innovative company for the last 4 years running. Next slide here, quick eye chart to show some of the depth and breadth of the public sector customers that Salesforce has serviced over the last 10 years. As mentioned at the top, all 23 CFO Act federal agencies are Salesforce customers. 45 out of 50 states across the country are also Salesforce customers. So we're talking thousands of projects serving wide ranges of public sector constituencies, serving all kinds of business functions. So the one feature that we're going to show you guys today is specific to correspondence management, which is a very, very small sliver of the Salesforce capability. So quick introduction on Acumen Solutions. As mentioned, I'm a managing director in Acumen's public sector practice. We are a global strategic partner of Salesforce. We're one of 8 in the world. So that's within the Salesforce ecosystem, that's the top of the pyramid of partners. We have done thousands of projects with Salesforce. We've got 500 employees, thousands of certifications. So we, in the Salesforce world, have done many, many, many successful projects, both in the commercial sector and in the public sector. The program that we're going to show you here is specific to correspondence management. What I'm showing on the screen right here is a collection of the federal customers, so it doesn't get into commercial or state and local, just a handful of federal customers where Salesforce has done, Acumen has done Salesforce work specifically. So with that, what we'd like to do is transition the conversation specifically into the correspondence management solution, which is what everyone came to see and hear. So what we'll do now is play you a short video. And the video is designed to explain some of the quick background and overview aspects of the correspondence management solution. So hold tight, here we go, roll video.
Government agencies work together to provide insight, support, and problem solving to fellow Americans in many ways. When someone asks a question, how do you make sure it reaches the right person? And once it reaches the right person, how do you make sure they have all the information needed to respond correctly? When you consider the volume of incoming questions, the various channels, and all the people that need to be part of each communication, it's hard to ensure correspondence is answered quickly and accurately. Introducing Correspondence Management by Acumen Solutions, powered by Salesforce. Correspondence Management helps government agencies listen, connect, and respond to more easily collaborate and better serve constituents. Acumen Solutions customizes Salesforce and AppExchange products to listen to constituents across every channel, including email, web forms, phone, social, even mail and fax. We build in powerful logic and workflow to connect your question to the right answer. This greater insight enables the right person to respond to the question at the right time. Listen, connect, respond. We've implemented this tool in many federal agencies, so you can trust that your data is secure in Salesforce's FedRAMP certified cloud platform. It can be customized to your records management needs. Correspondence Management gives government teams the tools to empower them to cultivate robust relationships with citizens and really solve their problems, all while enhancing government productivity. Correspondence Management by Acumen Solutions. Call us today for more information.
All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and jump over into the demo portion of the conversation. I think that's what you guys all came to see and hear. So I wanted to give you the quick overview of Acumen, of Salesforce, and of the Correspondence Management solution. So what we're going to do is show you guys a handful of different use cases. The first use case involves a John Q. Public submission of a correspondence management question or item to the Department of Defense. So I've got on my screen here a web form that could be fully customized, fully branded, and placed anywhere within a DoD site. What we're simulating is a correspondence management inbound form that really lives at the DoD level. And then from there, you'll see we'll take the correspondence management and route it to the direct sub-agency within the DoD. So the use cases that we're going to use throughout the conversation are going to all be about schools and DoD, the Department of Defense Education Activity. We picked that use case just because most people can relate to kids in schools and can kind of understand some of the questions and topics that are specific to that agency. So we pre-populated the form here, contact name, email address, zip code, and then a subject and some questions. So there's a quick description explaining the question or the topic that someone is submitting. So what we're going to do is go ahead and submit this form. So what's happened now is Jackson Woods, who's a public constituent, has gone out, submitted a question. What I'm now going to do is transition over into Salesforce, which is the internal application that we're using here to manage all of the inbound correspondence that come through. So what I'm going to do is I'm showing you what my base view is here. I'm in this use case a DoD, Department of Defense Education Activity Correspondence Management Analyst. So what I'm going to do is immediately jump over into my cases. So look at my cases tab. There's lots of different queues that we have available here. We've only created a handful of DoD-specific queues. In a DoD enterprise-level implementation, you'd have many, many, many more queues, but one of the queues here is DoD. So I'm going to go jump right into the DoD queue, and we're going to take a look at some of the cases that currently sit within the queue. So this was the case that we just submitted a second ago via the public web form. And part of what we're showing here is that I'm specifically in the DoD queue. I'm not in I'm not in any queue other than DoD. And the beauty of what we just showed is if you think back on this web case that we submitted, there's a trigger word in here that calls it to route. Anytime we have the word school, we've got smart routing rules so that the routing takes it directly into the DoD queue. So we've done similar things where you can use words like flood or emergency and route it to FEMA. Here's one where we're using words like school or education, and you can route it to DoD. So we can set up any of those routing rules that are necessary, but that saves correspondence management analysts a lot of time because we can hit a 90+% accuracy rate by routing things into the right queue without having them sit in a centralized queue and then having them to distribute to the sub-queues. So we're going to go take a look at that case that we just submitted here. This was the distance learning question. And here's what it looks like from an internal user's perspective. We can see at the top, we can see the case number, when it was created, the topic, the background. I can scroll down and see any kind of additional information that I want to see about the case, who owns it, what's the priority, Is it new or in progress? What we're going to simulate is that this question came in about my child's ability to use a public service like a K-12 incorporated to complete distance learning instead of having to go into a brick and mortar school. So I'm going to take ownership of the case. So what I'll do is I'll change the status from new to in progress because I'm actually working on it. It came in from the general public. It came in through the web channel. There's lots of different channels. We can do phone, email, social. So it came in through the web channel. I'm reading through the information. Here's the question that came from. It came from this constituent, Jackson Woods. Because this is a relatively simple question, let's say I'm going to go quickly do my research, get the answer, and get back to this constituent. So I'm going to go click send an email. I've gone and done my research. I'm now ready to give the answer back. So we have multiple email templates we can use. I'm going to go click select template. We have one pre-populated here, this DoD letterhead template. It's a very simple, stock letterhead, but there's obviously all kinds of customizations we can do here as well. So we're sending the email back to Jackson Woods. This is the person that submitted it from the public, and then we're going to provide information back. Please see attached on our policy for distance learning. Lots of spelling errors in there, but you get the gist on what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and submit this response back. We can attach a document. We can attach a link, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go ahead and send this response back. So now I'll go back into the case. This is the case that we were just working on. Remember, it came in from public web. Now I'm handling the case. I'm working on it. I sent an email back with resolution. So now I'm ready to go ahead and close the case. So I'll click the close case button, go through the process here, and we can customize whatever disposition fields you choose when you're shutting down a case. But in this situation, we've got closed resolved or closed referred. Like let's say, hey, this is actually a question for the U.S. Department of Ed, not for DoD. Or if it's an administrative item like a complaint or something like that is not really even worthy of a response back. So we're going to choose closed resolved. We're going to choose the customer disposition. They were satisfied with the answer we gave them. The resolution type, we're able to resolve this internally, or if we needed external assistance. These are all fully configurable fields. We just came up with these as what we thought would be logical fields for reporting. And then date and time closed. If we have any type of resolution notes, we include those as well. So now we'll go ahead and save it, and the case is now closed. If I go back to my case queue, I'm going to go into my DoD queue, and you'll see that that one from Jackson Woods, specifically around distance learning, is no longer in our active DoD case queue. So that's the first use case of a question or topic coming in from the general public. We did the research, we looked into the case, we got the answer, we submitted the response back to them, case closed. Now we're going to go to a different use case, which is much more of the congressional affairs situation or legislative affairs. In our queue here, we can see all the different open cases. And right now we can sort it. We're currently sorting it on high, medium, low priority. I can sort it or filter it based on congressional. So here's two that came in that are congressional correspondence. They're items that came from a congressman's office. So we're going to go drill into this one here and go read about it. So, I've got all the high-level information on the case up top. I'm going to read the details here. We're doing a study on certifications and credentials of DoD teachers compared to those in U.S. public schools. This came in from someone named David Cole, and it came in from Senator John McCain's office. They need the information by March 12th. This is, the status code on this one is someone's already been working on it, so it's not new. It's someone's already been working it. We've got a status priority high. It's been escalated. So we've got all the information that we need specifically on the case. Now, if I scroll down, I can see where it came from. It came from Senator McCain's office, and it came from a staffer named David Cole. What we've got going on here is an approval process. So the first step in the approval is someone went in and created an approval step and assigned it to Christina Miller. Christina Miller is in DoD, and she was assigned as a writer. Now, we can look quickly and see the status code of this is completed. So I know that Christina already completed her assignment. So let me go take a look at my data feed here. This is also in Salesforce called Chatter, which is a correspondence management component. So what I can do real quickly is take a look here and see, oh, there it is. Christina Miller sent this to me and says, let's send McCain's office a recent DoD program review. It has all the relevant statistics. And she says, perhaps we should also loop in the Office of the General Counsel to confirm external distribution. So she sent this to me, and it's all in a correspondence feed related to the case. I can take a look at the program and click through and start taking a look at some of the specifics of the program. Is this what we're looking for? Does it have the metrics that they're asking for? Yep, here we go. Here's the, the certification metrics. So we've decided this is the right thing to include. I'll jump back over to my details record. Now I can see the second step in the approval process was we sent an FYI to the U.S. Department of Education. So here's a contact at the U.S. Department of Ed, and we sent them an assignment type called FYI, so we just want them to be aware of the information that we're sharing. As Christina mentioned earlier in the feed, maybe we should loop in the Office of the General Counsel. So what I'm going to do now is branch off and create another workflow step. So I'll create a new workflow. The account here is DoD. We're actually going to assign it to the General Counsel and say, AFI, please confirm this is okay to send. So we'll go ahead and send this to AFI Ambrose, our General Counsel. She's going to be assigned as a reviewer for approval, and this is directed to her for executive approval, and we need it back from her tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and give her a due date of tomorrow. We click Save, and then, well, there's multiple ideas here. When we go ahead and go back into the case, I can drill back into the case and see the additional step that we just added. So we went into the approval steps here and added AFI Ambrose, so this currently is sitting as a status new. Once AFI comes back to us and says, yeah, it's approved, or whatever information we need to do to come up with a final document, we can then go down and close the case, through that close case button. I'm not going to go ahead and do it because it'll trigger an email back to David Cole, who's a real live McCain staffer, so we're not going to actually close this one out. But there's other things we have here as well, as we can track any type of activity history related to the case. So here's the inbound call came to us on March 1st. We had a discovery meeting with David Cole on March 8th, and we had a preliminary review of our findings on March 8th. So we can log all the activities so we can see all the interactions that we've had with that particular contact. So that brings us back to the case queue where we were before. So we've now shown you two different use cases. The first of which is the John Q. Public submission, which we resolved. The second is the congressional correspondence, which came in from McCain's office, and we did our research, had multiple people in the workflow, review, approved, see the document, and we closed it. The last use case we want to show is one in which we have the McCain office contacting us. Perhaps they're upset or they're aggravated because, hey, we sent you guys a bunch of correspondence, you're taking way too long to get back to us. So what we'll do is we're going to use the very powerful Salesforce search. We're going to go search for McCain, and you'll see all the different types of data that the search will bring back. So you'll see there's the concept of contacts. A contact is an individual, and we have this concept of accounts. An account is, think of an account as an organization. So in this situation, an account would be McCain's office. This is his capital office. So we're going to go drill into the John McCain, the capital office of John McCain as an account. And we'll show you the type of data that we have available specifically on McCain's office. And what we're showing you here is third-party market data that comes from a provider called KnowWho. They're a Salesforce App Exchange partner. They provide a plugin that gives you real live updated data on federal officials or congressional officials. So all this data comes pre-populated and includes all the information we could ever want to know about the office of Senator McCain. So we can see websites, any kind of location, how long he's been in office. We can see how he's voted on certain topics, any type of legislation he's involved in. I'm also going to show you guys real quickly this briefing report. What we understand from a lot of our correspondence management officials is that they oftentimes do congressional briefing reports, and the data that we have here is very, very valuable in terms of committees, subcommittees, and voting history. So again, this is the third-party product KnowWho that provides all of this data back. And this briefing report on all of his offices, committees, vote histories, things like that is all available here through this briefing report function. So again, I'm back on the office of Senator McCain. I can see all the contacts. Basically, contacts are staffers that work in his office. And there's David Cole. He's the guy that submitted the question to us about the teacher certifications. And when we go back to the use case, which is they called us upset saying that we were slow on our correspondence or we owed them a bunch of things that we haven't delivered. I can look here real quickly and see all of the cases that have been assigned with McCain's office and say, all right, I've only got a total of 3 times you guys have ever contacted us. One of them was a question about Greenland schools, and I can drill into it if I want. That was closed. And I've got 2 open cases. One is about the teacher credential one we already looked at, and another was a question about high school graduation numbers from Quantico High School, which is a DoD school. So I can quickly see the total case history that we have specifically with that office, which is a really good, useful view for me. I can also go drill down into Senator McCain's contact record and see a lot more detail specifically about McCain. And a lot of the information is similar to the office of McCain, but I'm actually showing you the specific McCain record here. We can see, any background on his education or religious background. We can see his voting history. We can see all of his current Senate committees that he has served on, any subcommittees that he's served on, any former committees that he's served on, and then former staffers that have worked in his office. This is very valuable for us to understand why someone is asking us a question and what they're going to do with it. So Senator McCain is on the Armed Services Committee, and he's in Arizona. Why is he asking us all these specific questions? And we can get a quick history and say, okay, he went to the Naval Academy, maybe he lives in Quantico. This helps us understand why he's asking us questions about, the Quantico High School local graduation rate. So that's a quick overview in terms of understanding sort of a know thy customer in terms of who are the people that are reaching out to you from various congressional offices. The last thing we want to close with is some of the reports and metrics that you can use out of the solution. So what we'll do is show you some Salesforce reports and dashboard capability. And we've got a handful of productivity reports here that show, this first one I'm hovering over shows all open cases by stage. I can show all open cases by priority. I can show how old cases are, show how many cases have been closed this month, or open cases by channel. Remember we talked about channel being, this is a multi-channel solution, so you can do email, web, phone, and we can see how many cases have been opened this month. We can do this reporting at DoD at an aggregate level, or some of these reports are specific to DoD. So I'm just going to also show that what we can do is I'm going to show this open cases by priority. I'll click in this report, and you can actually drill down and see the specific data that makes up that report. So this particular case, I'm going to drill down. This shows me all the cases that fed up into that report. Okay, this is the same one we already looked at, the teacher credential one. I can also look and say, what are the other open high priority items? And this is the graduation question about Quantico High School. So what we're showing there is the ability to quickly and easily build reports, customize reports, and see the effective productivity data. And these reports are very, very easy to build. It doesn't take any type of a developer to build them. You can just go into a report builder view, grab the fields you want to see, customize the date ranges or the agencies, and then off you go with a report. Reports are shareable, downloadable, lots of great things that we can do with reports. So with that, what I'd like to do is hand it over to Christina Miller, who is the the Correspondence Management Product Manager. And Christina's going to tell you a little bit about some of the upcoming things we have going on using some other technologies within Salesforce, specifically Wave.
Great. Thanks, Marty, for that awesome overview. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to share with you that we have expanded our correspondence management solution to now include Salesforce Wave. If you're not familiar with Salesforce Wave, this is a new product offered by Salesforce that allows you to see and work with your data in whole new ways. One of the most powerful things that we see with Salesforce Wave, it allows you to identify trends within your data. Look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a heat chart of how frequently are you getting different types of correspondence at different hours throughout the day. We're going to be diving deep into Salesforce Wave, and we'd love for you to join us at a meetup that we have coming up that we'll share details with right here, as well as the Salesforce World Tour, which is coming up at the end of April on the 28th. So we would love to see you there and tell you more about how we're using analytics with this correspondence management solution. So let me go back to that meetup. We're really excited to host an event at Busboys and Poets in Chinatown around coffee and correspondence. We've done a lot of these implementations before, and we've invited John Gilroy, who you know from Federal News Radio and Washington Post, he's also a professor at Georgetown, to facilitate a conversation about what challenges are you having with correspondence management? What are the different pain points that you feel with security, cost, response time and accuracy. It should be a great hour-long event, and we'd love to have you there. You'll be able to register with the link here provided in the presentation. And I think that was all I had, so I'll give it back to Sharon.
Great. Are you guys ready to go into some question and answer?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So we had one question come through, and it says, can we expand the solution to include FOIA request?
Sure, absolutely. So our correspondence management solution is set up to support multiple types of requests, including FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act requests. We also have built out the solutions for many agencies to handle their events so that you can have that full picture of how you're engaging with different folks, whether it's via email, Twitter, in person, an informal phone call, or something as controlled as a FOIA request. So yes, it absolutely can be expanded to that.
Perfect. And I believe we had one more question come through. It says, can you integrate with legacy systems like SharePoint?
That's a great question. Absolutely. So here at Acumen, we have a wealth of experience extending our platform to work with the tools that you might be using today. And that might be a tool that you want to continue using or that you want to slowly transition and retire. We help guide you as to the path that will work best for your goals. So integrating with SharePoint and retiring SharePoint is something we have a lot of experience doing with our customers.
Fantastic. I believe that rounds out our question and answer. So with that, I want to thank our speakers for presenting today and for providing such an informative presentation. And I want to thank all the participants for being with us as well. We hope this webcast has been helpful for you and your organization. And if you have any further questions or would like to request more information, please feel free to contact Kate McDonald or either Christina or Marty. Their contact information is on the screen. Thank you again and have a great day.